back.
Hello.
We're back.
Hello, me dears.
Hola, hola, hola. To
No
everyone.
star, no star.
Hola.
I don't even know why I'm saying hola, but I'm
Kali
saying hola.
Nikta. Kali Nikta to all our Greek viewers.
Yeah,
That
I'm off.
wasn't Greek.
Sorry?
That wasn't Greek.
Kali Nikta is.
Can he?
Kali-
Kalimera, Kalispera, and Kali Nikta. Good morning, good afternoon. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, or good night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, I
Kali-
only know Yamos.
Yamas.
Yeah, that's it.
Unless it's like me, dumbass.
Thomas, that's Welsh.
No, it's Borodar, pound dollar, no star.
Yeah, I used to live in Wales.
Well, you should know
What?
that then, Tim, shouldn't you?
Wassanaithai. You know what that is?
What?
Wassanaithai.
Yeah,
I bet nobody else does, do they?
yeah. Everybody's got that everywhere, haven't they?
Sorry guys, I'm just sharing out how is everybody on a Friday. Now there's 3 people in the chat. Can someone say
Well,
hello, please?
Oh, let's have a look. See who they
Even
are.
if you send me an emoji, make sure there's no the fingers up.
I can't see that. It's nothing coming up.
Because it's not gone on Things Network for some reason, so you'll find it either on Temple Phoenix Rising Entertainment, Ghost Squad Scotland or BB3 TV or Things YouTube. I do not know what the problem is here, but it's not connecting, but I'll put it onto Things Network just directly. But we've went back down to no one. This is... Can you guys go into one of the ones that I've mentioned just to see if...
Well, it's on BB3 TV.
Yeah, that's where I'm sharing from. That's where I'm sharing from.
what else was it?
Oh, we've got one in the chat. Come on, somebody, empty, say hello to me.
Oh, that was me.
That's that Wayne Seaton.
I said something.
It is, yeah. You said
You're
something.
done today, something. I could hear you.
Hello?
Uh,
There's nobody in the... There's nobody in the chat.
It's alright, don't you worry. Listen, fear not, guys, fear not, because I'll still do this show regardless.
No, there's one person in there. It might be me.
Hey, it's Tim.
Hang on. I'm definitely in the chat room.
And me.
Oh, no, it's bloody that Wayne Seaton.
I've done a Michael Keaton and multiplicity. I've split myself into 2.
Wait, no, I'm going to have to throw this into Things Network. Copy the link into Things Network. Do you know what? We're just going to carry on regardless.
Yeah, it's like it's like a carry on film.
Let's.
Well, this is Fools and Ghouls.
It's a Friday night and we're having a fair party. Oh, hi Michelle, how you doing? Welcome to the show.
I see we have more than one person joining us.
In hospital. Oh,
I
God,
presume that's
get well
Timber,
soon,
not Timer.
sweetheart. Get well soon. So tonight, guys, we are doing the stone tape theory. So I will do. Tim's been absolutely busting for this one.
Oh,
so
I love the stone tape.
Do you know what? Tonight, Tim, you can start it on
Before we go any further, okay, in Fools and Ghouls, typical Fools and Ghouls tradition, stone tape theory, did that come before VHS and Betamax?
Way before. Before crystal sets too.
Wow.
It's like, oh my God, what am I going to do with you guys? Right, Tim, you begin with the old stone
Well,
tape theory.
everybody knows what it is, don't they? Presumably.
Well, I do. Would you like to tell the audience in case they haven't got a clue?
Yeah. Well, there's a theory that things, not just stone, but like even trees and things, can record an energy from past times. And I think it's true. I think they do. I first became aware of it when I lived in North Devon, in Clovelly, and
that's a horrible place.
Yeah, I lived there for 12 years. But there's narrow passageways, and you could sometimes, not all the time, when the tourists had all gone, you could feel the energy coming out of the. You could literally feel the energy, and there was lots of spirit there. I mean, this place is in the Doomsday Book, and so I think there's a strong possibility that a lot of things you see are not actually spirit. It's actually just like a recording somehow coming out, and you're seeing like a from the past, messages from the past that's been trapped into that stone tree, whatever. There's a tree. There's a massive tree in a local forest called the Milking Tree in Salty Forest, which is 6.5 meter girth going round.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, this is one of the oldest trees in the forest, and apparently, in medieval times, people used to shelter their cows and even milk them under the boughs of this tree. And if you go and stand there, you can feel it. You can feel that this tree is giving you message. There's some kind of message. You put your hand on it and you can feel something. Something is there. You really can. So I think it's a strong possibility that a lot of things, when you say you saw a ghost, that it's not a ghost. It's possibility just a recording that's been trapped over time within where a tree, not just stone, whatever. That's what I think.
It's one of those ones. I mean, I've been reading a lot about the stone tape theory and about how it comes from objects, like touching objects and things like that.
Yeah.
The ghosts and hauntings happens when rock and other items release historical information. I can't say that I've ever experienced it, but it does sound like a really interesting theory, if I'm really honest,
Yeah.
because I have read up on it, and it's one of those ones, and it's said to be said that it became popular after the 1972 BBC Christmas ghost story, the Stone Tape, who was written by Nigel Neal.
Yeah, I saw that.
And to be honest, I've never ever watched it. It's probably well worth watching. But I know it's also connected with residential hauntings. So even like limestone, quartz,
Yeah.
even things like that hold information. So it's a really interesting theory.
Thing is, when I looked into the theory, you come to different conclusions, because the way I understand it, it's not so much certain objects or items, it's the electromagnetic energy in the surrounding area at the time.
So
And
you put it much better than me.
when the energy is at its highest, or when it's at its peak, it records whatever's going on at that precise moment in time when that energy is at its highest.
Exactly.
And then it goes.
What I was trying to say. Yeah, that's
then,
what I was trying to say.
Over a course of time, the energy it rebuilds itself again, and when the energy gets at its height again, it plays back what it already had and records something else.
Yeah.
So the claim on stone tape theory is that we're actually seeing something that's been recorded from whenever, and we're just witnessing that energy releasing that recording, like a videotape. That's why the stone tape theory has come into it, because it's the surroundings recording something at that particular time.
Yep.
That is
So
spot on.
here's
That
a
is.
question.
You put it much better than me, Wayne.
Sorry,
Thank
honey.
you.
Sorry, my love. I'm just going to say a quick hi to Mark. Hi, Mark. Welcome
Hello.
to the show. Welcome to the show. Everybody who's watching, welcome to the show.
But
I just want to quickly give a wee quick shout out to Heather McCallum. Definitely, guys, check out Paranormal Intrigued. Go and give her a wee follow, please. That would be brilliant. Hey Holly, how you doing, my love? Here's an interesting question for you guys and the people in the chat. Now, as everybody knows, quite recently protesters attacked Stonehenge, right? Do you think, obviously, with the damage that they've done, with Stonehenge, with throwing whatever they threw at Stonehenge, do you think that Stonehenge is kind of lost its stone tape theory, if that makes sense?
I don't think whatever they've thrown at it's going to make any difference. It's still there. It's still there.
Yeah.
You know?
And like I said, the theory is that it's the electromagnetic field recording an incident at the time. Now, if they've thrown whatever they've done, I think it was orange paint, wasn't it?
Yeah, orange paint. Yeah.
The Just Stop Oil Muppets. If the energy was really low, nothing's going to happen. If the energy was really high, there is a chance it may record it, and weeks or months or maybe years down the line, that energy peaks again, and all of a sudden people might claim that they have seen orange paint on the stones at Stonehenge. But again, this is part and parcel of that theory, is why spirits or ghosts walk through walls.
Yeah.
Could this be part of the stone tape theory? Because in their day when they were alive, there may have been a door there, not a wall.
Exactly.
And somebody's moved the door, or the building has been pulled down and rebuilt, and the door is in a different position.
Yeah.
And the spirit walking through the wall could be just a playback of the stone tape theory of that person walking through a door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say quick. Hi, Robert. Hi, Mary.
Hello.
I'm looking forward to next week and seeing you and Shane for 2 nights in a row. Woo!
See, I agree with this energy thing. These energies, whatever's happened in the past, when something drastic or tragic happens, these energies are bursting. They're absolutely bursting.
Yeah.
And that tragedy it's just like you say, the tape. It's caught on this magnetic energy.
Yeah.
Just like you do with the magnetic tape, with the videotapes, and it's caught there forever. So it's just going round, and whatever gets put up on the tail end of that, Wayne, you're right, it will just drag on through to something else. Even down to like vehicles.
Yeah, you get
vehicles.
Oh, Tim, where are you? Tim,
he's moved.
Hey.
And that's the thing. This is why stone tape is such a compelling theory. Is the fact that, like you say, it also goes as far as vehicles, haunted, ghost aircraft.
Yeah.
I've witnessed it myself at Ruffin Control Tower in Bury St Edmunds. We witnessed the droning of 12 heavy bombers taking off, and 5-10 minutes later, they all came back one at a time, all 12, and we counted them. And this has happened to us on about 4 or 5 separate occasions. I've checked with other people from other groups, and they've had a similar thing. We tried to debunk it, saying it was wind coming through the windows, through little gaps in the windows as a draft. But we noticed that the droning noises were coming basically between 5 and 10 minutes apart from when they took off to when they come back. And it never went any higher than 10 minutes, and it was no lower than 5. Now, the wind is random. Wind is random. And even on the quietest of nights where there was no wind, we could still hear this droning noise.
Wow.
And it's been confirmed by other teams that have visited the place.
Yeah.
So
that's interesting, that, because what you've actually done there is listened, checked.
Yeah.
Checked. It's been like a scientific.
But that's how we do. That's how when we do Truth Beyond Paranormal, that's the way we work it. We work on the scientific side. Although most of us are believers, we will look at the. We will take the skeptical side and try and find the scientific answers for what we've seen or heard.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You're trying to debunk it, haven't you?
So we look at things in so many different ways. And I remember going out with one group. We were up in the top of the control tower and we'd got trigger objects dotted about the place. And I'd got my mini REM pod sitting on top of a display case which had 4 B-17 bombers on. We were getting intelligent responses back from spirits. We'd heard the drones already twice that evening. And as I'm standing there, I'm talking, and I said, the first time I was there, we'd made contact with a navigator called Jack Fryer.
Yeah.
And I asked if the navigator, Jack Fryer, was here. Now, he would have been responsible for going into this section of the control tower to find out his route that he was going to be taking for the pilot. Yeah. So he would have been responsible for going in, getting the grid locations of where they were heading to from this particular route. And I turned around and said, is Flight Navigator Jack Fry here? And all of a sudden, my little mini REM pod went flying off the top of the cabinet.
Brilliant.
And we got it caught on camera. And then just as we went to pick up the REM pod, we had the 12 drones again.
That's crazy.
Wow.
And so, again, that's what triggered us into looking at where this noise is coming from. And it wasn't a windy night, but we still hear it. And everyone's going, oh, it's the wind coming through the windows. I said, when so far in this evening have you been outside and it's been windy? And they went, well, the wind might have picked up. I said, well, quickly run downstairs and go stand outside now.
Yeah.
They went downstairs. 2 minutes later, came running back up. There's no wind.
Yes.
So, right. Exactly. So what's that noise then?
Exactly. I'm going to quickly go into comments. Holly says, I'm so tired of these eco-warrior assholes, Stonehenge painted. You're getting me to swear tonight, Holly. Travel Foundation, Charcoal, etc. Hey, Ark. There's trouble ahead. Hey, David, hope you're well, honey. Hi, Heather. Welcome to the show, honey. Heather is from Paranormal Intrigue. Guys, please go and give this young lady a follow. That would be much appreciated. Hey, Bobby. Long time no see, sweetheart. Hope everything's well.
Hello.
And welcome to the Friday night show where we're all hyperactive.
Well,
I don't know about that.
What I was going to say about was I went on a little course many, many years ago. Didn't stay on it long with an absolutely wonderful man. You most probably know his name. His name was Gary Rowe. And Gary
I've heard
Rowe,
of that.
Gary Rowe. Do you know Gary Rowe, Wayne?
No, I know his brother Cod.
Trust you, Mr.
No, his real name is Cod S. Rowe.
I am saying.
Sorry, Gary. I didn't mean it. It's just a joke.
This lovely.
If you're watching that,
Gary Rowe, and he was a UFO and a paranormal guy, and he found this piece of UFO after this crash. There's a big story to it. I'm not going to go into it now, but he wanted to get it tested, right? So it was in hiding, but he wanted to get it tested. So he set up this course, and it went into all these different things. and on about the stone tape as well. Now, his take on it was absolutely amazing. And three things stuck in my head were what he told us. And it was, he had 2 pieces of raw quartz off the local beach down here. He said, I go there quite a lot down to that beach. He said, you rub them together, which I have done. He said, they start glowing. You know, you can put it in the water, it'll glow. Just rub it, make the friction, it'll glow.
Yeah.
That is in your cement, it's in your it's mirrors, it's because they used to melt it, and it's all about the quartz. And it's like he said, imagine, this is another thing that's stuck in my head. Imagine if you could put a microphone onto the ceiling in St. Paul's Cathedral in Italy, right? And tape every brush stroke that went on, so that it was layer upon layer upon layer. He said, what if you could get voices coming out of them strokes?
Oh,
you know,
wow.
the energies put in you. He went into all this, and it was just amazing. And he said, and they tried doing something once. They put this copper nail in a wall in this old ancient building, and they put some kind of electric spark to it, and it started making these noises. It blew up. It blew up.
To be fair, see if I did something like that, I would electrocute myself because I'm that daft. I would be holding on to this thing, and then all you'd see is the electric, and then it would be like.
He also explained to us.
Much love to you, Heather.
Hiya, Heather. He explained a really good way of putting it. So it's like leaving things. You're leaving something in the past. So time goes by and things get left there, and it's stain will be there. It's like putting a velvet curtain up on the window and putting a photo frame in front of it.
Yeah.
In fact, the sun's on it, bleaching it year after year after year. It's going to leave an imprint.
Exactly.
What if, right?
Exactly.
Here's a question for you guys and for everybody in the chat. But could you imagine, in all honesty, like doing it in the Vatican? Now, we have covered the conspiracies in the Vatican. We covered it months ago. But could you imagine doing that and the things that you could hear within the Vatican? Thank God Wayne's not here, because Wayne gobsmacked me when we did the Vatican, because we went into a whole new world.
We did, didn't we?
Thank God Wayne's not here, was that I heard?
Yeah, well.
You just listen, Mr. Seaton, I was talking about, can you imagine doing it in the Vatican? And I said, thank God Wayne's not here, because Wayne took us into a whole new world that night we did the Vatican. In fact, Bobby's actually got a question for us. So is the topic the stone tape theory or residential hauntings? Nice. What are your thoughts and theory on it?
Me personally, I think it's definitely a distinct possibility, simply because the Earth's electromagnetic field is responsible for a lot of things. And we know from the likes of Nikola Tesla that the Earth's electromagnetic energy can be harnessed and it can be projected across the world.
Yeah.
And those patents were taken away from us. We know that for a fact.
Yeah.
We know the Earth has its own energy.
Yeah.
We know we can harness that energy. So as being spirits supposedly being composed of energy, there is no reason why that energy cannot be recording an incident or something happening at a particular time and replaying it. There's no reason why it shouldn't. But on the flip side of the coin, there's no reason why it should. There's an argument in everything.
Yeah, there is.
But when you look at the evidence, there is a strong possibility that it is something being played back, if it's residual, then there's a strong chance of it being stone tape theory, because it's not responding to what you're asking. It only becomes intelligent when it responds to what you're asking.
Yes, that's true.
Do you know, I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you guys and I'm thinking about my very first investigation. And what happened was, now, as I've told everyone, I'm empath sensitive. I don't consider myself like psychic. I don't consider myself a medium. I don't consider myself. I just can't tell you how I do it, right? And I was out in my very first investigation, and we were like going down towards the pool area when I stopped dead, and all of a sudden, for some reason, I touched the wall, and I was like running my hand down the wall like that, like my finger just down the wall, and I said to like the team leader at the time, because he says, "What are you sensing?" And I'm sensing that there's a little girl who's here. She's I would say in the age range maybe a 6, 7. I says dark hair, like really thin girl. I said thing me, and that's what he said to me. Like after I'd sensed this, he says what you're picking up is residential, like residue of haunts. And I was like, wow. So see, when I'm sitting here and listening to you guys talking about the story, taking into consideration there what Wayne was saying, I'm thinking to myself, that's exactly what happened to me in my investigation.
Residual haunting is just another name for stone tape, isn't it? Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Because it's not because you witness something, but you go, oh, yeah, or you hear something and you go, can you repeat that, please? And it doesn't repeat it.
Yeah.
You know, if that is a sound you hear, and it doesn't reply or doesn't do it again, then it hasn't responded to you, so it remains a residual. It's not intelligent. If it responds to you, then obviously it's going to be an intelligent haunting rather than a residual. And so it then leads on to what Bobby has then asked about, what can naturally store this energy other than a battery. That's all we are. That's all we are, is batteries. If every cell in the human body was to all of a sudden go blip, with the energy that's inside it, it would actually be more than a bolt of lightning.
I could do with that now, actually.
That apparently is scientific fact. So all we are is batteries. But if you look at everything, everything is all made up of cells and atoms of carbon. We all everything stores energy, and it just needs something to release it. But when you've got the whole planet and the whole of the universe is full of electronic or electromagnetic energy, it just needs something for it to build up to that point where it records it, replays it, and if it holds on to that record, it could just keep playing it. But you find that a lot of people that say they've seen a ghost, they don't see that ghost on a regular basis.
No.
It's not there day in, day out. It doesn't turn up when people ask it to. And that's why some places only get sightings of spirit activity in places where renovations have just recently taken place.
It's all been disturbed.
One example is the Red Lion Hotel in Colchester. That's on the city's main high street. It kicks off every time they have the decorators in.
Yeah.
The second they repaint the place, people say they've seen this, they've seen that. And I've gone and investigated in there shortly after they have done such a thing. And it's kicked off in just about every area of the hotel. But go back 6 months later, and it's very quiet.
Yeah,
I'm going to quickly get into
exactly.
the comments, guys. Bobby says, we also have been bombarded with EM daily from solar flares and other energy pulses from the universe. Hey, Mr. Sardi, I hope you and
Hi,
Mrs.
William.
S are well. Bobby says, stone tape is much your face to do the same thing. William says, everything contains an energy. Excuse me, Bobby says electrical storms are famous for energizing local stored energy within usually minerals, local. Oh, come on, you're killing me, Bobby.
Conglomerates.
All right, thanks everyone with the most common live in the Blair Stones. I think you love testing me on a Friday night with your big words. Come on, I can't say any more than 3 letters.
In Northamptonshire, we've got an old railway line that goes from Northampton up to Market Harborough. It's about 17 miles through, and there's two really long. I mean, they're like a quarter of a mile, probably a little bit further along. And trains have been heard regularly coming through it, old steam trains, and occasionally workmen have actually been seen because it's been made into a footpath, cycle path, bridleway now. It's all tarmacked, and it's. But on certain occasions, like we've been up there and not had anything. Like Wayne said, we've not had nothing. But another time, I'll tell you when it is. When there's a big moon, that's when we tend to get the most activity.
Energy,
But here's the thing, right?
I don't know
guys,
if that's relevant or a coincidence. I don't know, but trains have been heard, and people who live nearby have heard trains. I've spoken to people. There's a pub we go into, and along it's the Brampton Valley Way. So, there's some pubs nearby in villages, and they've quite often said they've heard a train, although it's nowhere near a modern day train line. So
I mean,
it's fascinating.
It takes us back, right? You think about it. Well, we were meant to do the subject last week, but it ended up becoming carnage. As a Friday night does, it becomes carnage, right?
I can't remember last Friday.
When
I wasn't on last Friday, was I?
No, you
was
weren't
I?
on last Friday. Last Friday we were obviously talking about ghosts and dimensions. If ghosts could see us as ghosts and we could see them as ghosts, right? So I'm sitting here again and I'm thinking to myself, you think about it, when ghosts see how the place was when they died, right? So when there is new construction work, when things are getting changed, when things are no the way that they should be, then that's when I find that you get the most activity because they're so pissed off that people are coming in and changing things and they're no get. I mean, think about it, right? Heaven forbid, I'm not saying this is going to happen, guys, in any way, shape, and form, right? But heaven forbid, tomorrow, I would say I was going up there, but I'm actually going down there. So when I get down the way, right? So I leave my house the way it is. Someone comes in, starts changing it. I would be pissed off as well. And I would be doing everything in my power, like putting over the paint, ripping the wallpaper down. And I totally get it. I do totally get it. But it is a really, really interesting theory. And up until tonight, I was kind of a bit with the theory, but I've actually really enjoyed doing this and actually
The problem is as well, though, is you will get, and this is well documented. A certain TV show,
let me guess.
but shan't be named, did an episode did an episode where a certain individual, two certain individuals went into an area of the stables, placed a camera conveniently at the entrance to the stables, and claimed to have got an apparition of the spirit walking up the stairs and going off in the opposite direction to where they were. They then pick up the camera and chase after it. However, the second somebody said it's such and such that was in that room, all of a sudden a video went out on YouTube claiming it was stone tape theory. So, and this made national news. This TV show was called The First Manifestation of the Ghost, blah, blah, blah. Then someone and a lot of other people turned around and said, oh, well, this is so-and-so. And then straight away, the YouTube video came out. We think it was the stone tape theory, that it recorded a certain person going up the stairs during the day when the energy was at its highest, and it played it back while we were there conveniently.
They think
Yeah.
it would be. It
So
might be. So
they
it's
had to use that as an official excuse as to, you know, oh dear, we've just been found out.
Yeah.
So they use that as the official excuse. I've been to that location, and to be honest, there is nothing in that stables.
I've got a special guest with me to this side. This is my special guest for tonight. I'm just going to quickly go into the comments because they are building. Bobby's put Lil laugh as Facebook added Lil. William says it's just basic alchemy. Bobby says electrical. Bobby, you're doing this to kid me on. So William says, before you can understand energy properly, I have also understood how alchemy works. You have to understand, I mean, Lil. It's definitely a subject I need to get covered, definitely. It's an interesting one as well to speak about as well.
You know what? It reminds me very much of, like you were saying about dead people don't know that, you know, the dead. They think that we're the ghosts and all. It's like the film The Others. I absolutely love that film, and it really does have. If you've never seen it before, it's got that twist in it.
Yeah, I've seen
really
it.
does have that twist. You know, you're trying to figure it out. Could it be this? Could it be that? Why is she locking them bloody doors all the time?
Yeah.
You know,
it's the same as The Sixth Sense as well.
Yeah.
Do you know how many times, guys, that I've watched that film? Now, you are all going to laugh. I watched that film and never got the ending. Do you know when I got the ending? Last year. Last year. That's when I got the fact that I was like, what
No,
the hell is wrong?
Was it because you got most of the way through the film and the bit that actually revealed the fact that he was dead you did not see at all? You stopped the film before that bit?
Well, I think I might have not had these, and I think that might have been the problem.
That's it. Blame the glasses.
I mean, the director has during that phase when he was doing those films, he had a very clever way of manipulating the viewer to thinking things were done a certain way, and then right at the end he goes, boom, there you go, and you go, oh right, yeah.
Brilliant.
He's very clever, and Sign's exactly the same thing.
Yes.
That's the one
wow,
with,
I love that film.
That's the one with Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
And
Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
That's a very good film. That's more about alien abduction.
Yeah.
And that's really cool.
And The Fourth Kind as well.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know what? I'm crying. Don't go.
Oh,
I've been watching some weird stuff lately. I was watching Terrifier 3 the other day.
Don't tell me. Please don't
Wicked
tell me.
film. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just saying it's a wicked film. Very gory, but brilliant. And Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2.
Is it
Winnie
good?
the Pooh, brilliant.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2 is miles better than the first one. Miles better.
Yeah, I've seen them both. And Paddington. Paddington's great too.
Well,
it
do you
might
know
as well
what?
be
What I'm
Paddington.
actually waiting for? The horror of Tom and Jerry.
No, it'll be Mickey Mouse first.
The
No,
I
there is a rumour that they're going to do a horror version of Steamboat Willie.
I think
You
you're
think
on
I'm
the wrong-
joking?
I think you're on the wrong
You
show
just
here,
turned
Will.
my head into 1,000 miles an hour. With
But
all
the thing is, when you look at all the Disney films, the original stories that Disney turned into fairy
Yeah.
tales were not fairy tales in the first place.
No.
They were gruesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The dwarfs were never miners. They were woodcutters. They were, you know. Hansel and Gretel is a very dark story.
You know
And
what?
Red Riding Hood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for
They're all very
someone-
dark, and
Yeah.
Disney have twisted them the other way to make them,
Yeah.
oh, bless, and all sweet and cute and cuddly and all that rubbish. And it's not, nothing
Yeah.
like it.
I couldn't understand why
For
it
no
comes
one
down.
that's ever watched our show before, we never stay in a subject long. We're doing so many rabbit holes. I swear.
It's because they're all connected. They're all connected. That's why.
That's
Yeah.
it. It's an adventure.
Mm.
Robert says very dedicated psychiatrist in the Sixth Sense, coming into work even after dying.
Yeah.
Robert says seen the advertisement for the horror Steamboat Willie. Thank
Yep.
God that Pickle Tom's not here tonight.
That was it's been in the pipeline. It's been in the pipeline for many years, and that's because Disney have the rights for characters for a certain amount of time. When that
Right.
time runs out, it then is a free for all to use that character in whatever way they want, and that's what they did with Winnie the Pooh. As soon as the copyright expired on Winnie the Pooh, straight away there's a script there, there's the film, boom, get it out there quick before Disney have got the right to reintroduce the copyright for another so many years.
Yeah.
So they got it out there quick, and then they started on the production for Blood and Honey 2.
Do you realise, guys, that you are really seriously breaking my heart, because you are breaking my heart and breaking my dreams over Disney. Now, I still believe in Santa and the Tooth Fairy and all that. So now you are breaking my heart over Disney, the fact that now they're taking all my favourite Disney characters and making them horrors.
Yeah, but this is the thing. These stories were technically horrors originally anyway.
The Brothers Grimm.
Or were they horrors because they were written about actual things that happened?
Yeah, it might be true stories. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Especially the kids, Hansel and Gretel. You
Yeah.
know, getting rid of the kids. Just get rid of them. Give them
I mean,
some-
I've read. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say I've read the original Hansel and Gretel, but I've read an edition that predates Disney, and it is gruesome.
Mm.
I mean, look at
Well-
Pinocchio.
Listen, you leave Pinocchio alone. He had a big
The
nose.
Pied Piper. The Pied Piper.
Yeah, there's a
we did
reason
that-
why he had a big nose.
We did that on the
there
weird.
you go.
We
Yeah,
did the
the
Pied
Pied
Piper on the Weird Room. We did the Pied Piper on the Weird Room, and they all did go missing. 100 kids went actually missing from that village.
That'd be a good subject to do.
That
We
would, in fact,
did it a while ago. Yeah, we
we
did it on the
actually
Weird Room.
we should actually do that. Disney characters and
But the thing is, as well, is a while back there was videos that went out on TikTok and Facebook, and there's some on YouTube still, of subliminal messages in Disney films.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've actually looked at some of these, because some of them he timestamps them. The bloke that actually turns around and said, if you go forward into the film to 15 minutes and 30 seconds, there will be a word comes up on the screen. So you fast forward to that 16 minutes, 30 seconds, and you'll see, I think one of them was Frozen. There's a bit where the sister goes off up into the mountains after she's done what she's done and frozen her sister or whatever it was, and she runs off into the mountains and builds her ice palace. In one of the wisps of ice and snow that she wisps up into the air, the word sex appears in the mist.
No.
And this
I mean,
this bloke, I
Yeah.
can't remember exactly what timestamp he gave on it, but he said is when she goes up in the mountain, the word appears in the mist. And we checked it. We've looked on there and gone, oh my God, it does. And then they say, why is it when Mufasa and Simba are sitting on the rock and their silhouettes, why does it look like two penises?
so they,
And
you know what
apparently
happened?
Walt Disney was very, very good at doing things like that in his earlier films, and it's just carried on from.
Can
I heard
Hi, hi,
I-
Laura. How you doing, love? Can I
I
just say something? Last week, I don't know why my show seems to go into like Pornhub, but seriously, last week we did a subject and it was quite funny, and then it just went to Carnage Land, didn't it? Were you
I
there
was
last
on
week?
last week. I was
You
on.
were.
Yeah,
It was you, me, and
yeah,
Tom,
yeah.
and it
Tom.
just
Yeah,
went
just you,
to,
me, and Tom. Yeah.
and it
But
just went
I
Carnage.
was working, yeah.
I was
I was
like,
just going to say about the subliminal messages. You remind when I was a kid. You know when we were kids, perhaps not low in that, but we used to go to Saturday morning cinemas and stuff.
Yeah.
They used to put like an ice cream, like just before the interval came up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, is that true, or am I just thinking that?
No, they
No,
did.
they would have done that because as far as subliminal messages go, if they blink a picture of an ice cream up on the screen,
Yeah,
any of the kids that are watching that will see that and go, "Oh, do you know what?
yeah.
I'd like
I
an
don't know.
ice cream."
I don't know
No,
if it
a
was a thing or
suggestion.
whether I'm just imagining it, but
I've
No,
just seen a
guess not.
subliminal message come up
Yeah.
on the screen saying I've got to have a sip of coffee.
Yeah.
Hang on.
And then they used to come round, didn't they? There was the lady with a tray.
Yeah.
And she'd be like that. And she'd
Yeah.
be walking round
It's
with the ice cream with a
it's
tour.
conveniently placed advertising.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
put, and it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, at times when you used to have, you used to be able to smoke in cinemas. They would have, the message would come up. Don't forget to go and see so and so in the foyer for your pack of 20 John Player Special,
Yeah.
or a can of Coca-Cola, or your popcorn, or your ice cream, and someone would be conveniently there to go.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got ice creams here for sale. And that's the idea behind subliminal messages. And lately in Las Vegas, they've been doing that on that big dome in Las Vegas. They've been projecting subliminal messages on there. And the only way you can understand what it's saying is if you video record it and slow it right down.
All right.
And if you slow it right down, you'll be able to
Is it-
see every single word comes up. And part of one of the phrases that came up was, "We're being lied to."
Well,
Ah.
not wrong.
And this
Okay.
was being recorded on that big dome thing that they've got in Las Vegas. So, but that's the power of
Being
subliminal
gone funny.
messages. If it only just briefly comes on, but you see it, that imprints that message into your head, and you think, "Oh, hang on a minute, that I'm hankering for an ice cream."
I've heard it used to be in the
Well,
old vinyl records as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sight and sound are obviously one of the best things for you to communicate with other people with.
Yeah.
So by using TV images or cinema images, pictures, posters, and then onto records, and obviously nowadays it's downloaded music and things like that, you can put that odd word in. It may not get everybody's attention, but you will get some people's attention, and they will mention it. And that will then convince other people to look into it. And one good example of how that works in a nasty way is if you watch the film The Cell. That was written by Stephen King. It was written by Stephen King. If you read the book first and then watch the film, the book is amazing. The film is really good, but it's basically where everybody goes mad because of a cell phone. And something goes through the cell phone and it switches their mind into this primordial state, and they end up following one set instinct.
Sounds a bit like what's going on now.
But it is really good because they've used the mobile phones to get all these people into that way. It's a really good film.
I must admit, right, Stephen King, if I had to pick a Stephen King film that I really, really enjoy from beginning to end, I would really have to pick Misery.
Oh, I love Misery.
I absolutely love Misery.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Yeah.
And don't worry, it's really, really good. The Shining.
Yeah, that's another one. I love that as well.
It was a good movie. I wouldn't say it's one of my favourites or anything, but definitely Misery. I would go there, definitely. It's really, really good. I'm going to quickly just get the comments, guys. So I've put up Heather's page, guys. If you just check out the link. Heather is a paranormal investigator from Canada. She's really, really lovely. Robert says, wasn't it back masking for the records to get the messages?
No idea.
Wouldn't be surprised, Robert, to be honest. I really wouldn't be surprised.
Lois, you haven't really watched many Stephen King films, have you?
Please don't embarrass me.
No, I mean, Stephen King's It. The original and the new versions.
I don't like going by the drains, see?
Everybody.
No, it's me. I just.
Please forgive me. Please.
I just didn't make a wax boat and go out and sail it off in the rain. Me, I just, But it's when you see these films. I mean, me, I'm Stephen King mad, and I've got pretty much every single book that he's written. And when you look at his films, when they've been put into a film format, you just look at them and you're like, oh my God, this is pretty cool. And then with Stephen King's It, the original with Tim Curry as Pennywise.
Yeah.
That was terrifying. In the day, that was horrific and that was scary. But the clown in Pennywise in the new ones, he's even worse.
Oh, I haven't seen the new ones.
The new ones, they did the same. They did the same with the new ones they did with the original. They had to split it into two, but they were longer because they wanted to go more to how Stephen King wrote the original story. And so they were able to put more into it. And obviously with the special effects now that like they are, we're able to do things a lot better and make them a lot more horrific. And the jump factors are there. But then you go on to, I mean, like Lois said, Misery and Dolores Claiborne, they're not horrors as such. They're more psychological thrillers.
Yes, they are.
And then you go into The Shining. Now, obviously, that is because that is regards to a man being possessed by spirits that were in the hotel. But the newer version is rubbish compared to the original with Jack Nicholson.
I've not seen the new one. I'd rather have the old ones.
But then he goes further afield and he brings out ones like Dreamcatcher.
Oh, I've seen that.
Dreamcatcher's aliens.
Right. To finish off what
Lars, you've left your freezer door open again, haven't you? She's freezing. What's going on?
She's looking through the letterbox at us, look.
Yeah, she is, isn't she? Yeah. Oh, Lord. She's going to disappear again. Oh, Tom just went with the James Bond mode.
Why not,
Yeah. I mean, Stephen King movies, they're pretty cool.
I have to admit, as you said, because I was in the backstage listening because of Lois was having problems, and then she brought me in before she had problems again, that the original, It was a far better movie.
Yes.
They didn't have to rely as much on the gruesome factor, the twitchiness of the camera, and you know what I mean. It was
the jump scares were better.
Yeah.
I mean, they put jump scares in this one, but you knew they were coming.
You expect it.
You know, but with the old ones, you never expected it. And Tim Curry sort of managed to pass Pennywise off really, really well.
Oh yeah.
This guy, he's not as good, but he's still pretty an awesome,
Yeah,
pretty awesome
because
character.
Tim Curry didn't have to do a different octave of a voice. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, clowns. I get it. I get why they did it. You know, clowns are more like happy and hey, what's going on? You know what I mean? But with Tim Curry, it was more. You know, it was just his own
I don't know
voice.
why I keep getting kicked out.
Well,
Your
back
internet
in
connection.
now, aren't you?
You ain't paid your internet bill. That's what it is.
Do you know what it is? It's just because this doesn't like me because I said a whole load of F-bombs last night.
Yeah.
Robert said,
Oh, well.
"Hi, Noreen!" Robert
Noreen!
said, in the Dark Tower movie, they show that Pennywise came from another dimension. What I was trying to say is, right, see, Pennywise, I find Pennywise, please forgive me, and I don't mean to be offensive. Sorry, Stephen King. But I found that Pennywise was shit. It was really, really shit. For a clown movie, I just, they want F-bombs again. Robert,
Yeah,
if you heard the amount of Fs I was dropping.
The thing is, though, it wasn't so much a clown horror movie. It was just the fact that it was a being from another dimension that needed the souls of 27 people, or however many people it was. It's Pennywise, look. But it happens every 27 years. But he appears as a clown. He appears as a clown to attract the purest energy from a person you could possibly have, and that would be children. And that's why he appears as a clown, because of the attraction.
Yeah, I like that film. Oh, what the hell's it called? Where that big thing flies and gets on the bus with all those what's it called?
Batman.
Do you know?
Jeepers Creepers.
Do you know what? See, to be honest, I was very skeptical, right, about clown films. I'm not spirit clown films. I just don't think they should be in horror because I think they're a load of garbage, right? And
Then you need to watch Terrifier.
well,
I can't watch any of them.
I was
They
just getting
frighten
there,
me.
cheeky. So then I discovered Terrifier, and I think that Terrifier was really, really amazing, and I'll tell you why. Because I kind of feel that horror movies these days are losing their gory, but Terrifier I found was so gory. But I like the guy because he's creepy, and it's that way where it's a smile. It's like he just looks at you and it's that smile, and it's like, yeah, I'm leaving. I'm like going.
I mean, the thing is, though, although it's gory, I never see that. He's having a go at someone with a chainsaw or an axe, or he's popping their heads off and brains are flying everywhere. Horrible. I see through that because I'm looking at the story and how the clown came about to doing what he's doing. And it's the same. It's the same with the new Winnie the Pooh film. If you watch, I personally think they're all done. They've been done in the wrong order. They should have done the second one first and then the first one second, because the second one explains the reason behind the first.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know what? I've not even got a chance to say, Tom, how the devil are you?
I'm okay. You know, been a long, boring day, but I'm all right.
Don't you kid on your shy?
What?
Don't you kid on your shy?
Are you shy, Tom?
You're at
it.
Well, what did you think about? I know it's just another film. The original, The Haunting of Hill House. Ever remember that?
Oh.
And then they made another one years later with Catherine Zeta-Jones in, which was based on that.
What's that?
I thought that was scary.
Is that the House
that
in
was
Haunted
movie,
Hill?
yeah. Pardon?
Yeah.
Is that the House in Haunted Hill?
Yeah.
The original, can I be really? Oh, I feel like I'm Simon Cowell, but I found that the original was shit. I'm so
I've got the
sorry.
original. Yeah, I've got the original.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was Vincent Price. That's right. That's what I was thinking.
I just
Yeah.
didn't. I just mind you. I say it's shit, and then I watch it again. I don't know why, but I just. It wasn't what I was expecting because I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh my God, the House in Haunted Hill, the original, it's scary." Blah 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 blah. And then I watched it, and it was kind of like, where it's meant to be scary.
Oh, you have to watch it when it's done, really, haven't you? You know, years ago. You got to watch
Yeah.
it then. That was scary then. And what stuck in my mind off that original film was when the banging on the door, the spirits banging on the door,
Yep.
and the spiral staircase in the orangery. Well, they had that in Catherine Zeta-Jones's film.
Yeah.
Which I thought that was very clever, the way they brought the spirits floating through the net.
You have to pay homage to original movies when you make remakes. You have to.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
If you don't, then your movie is shit.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, the thing is if you're making a horror movie, you've got to set the scene.
Yeah.
And obviously, as I write ghost stories, this is where I get my inspiration from, is by watching horror movies.
Yeah.
And you look at how they do the settings, and it's things like dark corridors where the camera is sitting has got to be well lit, and then it gets darker the further down the corridor it goes.
Yeah.
That automatically sets the scene because you don't know what's down the other end of that corridor.
No.
Yeah.
And then all you've got to do is a well-placed sound like a thumping or a door slamming.
Yeah.
And in the right situation, that would scare the living daylights out of you.
And you have to do
Here's
the
thing,
audio correctly so that, like,
The
the
music
left
too,
and right.
Echoes.
Yeah.
If you've got a
I
door
know
slamming and
Fred.
it echoes, it's like, oh my God, that's
I
perfect
thought-
jump scare.
I thought Rose Red.
You're scaring me now just talking about it.
You muted yourself.
That's Rose Red's another Stephen
guys,
King.
see if Tim does not sleep tonight,
No.
guys. It's not our fault. I'm going to
Then
quickly go
you're
into
muted.
comments. Tom, Robert's like that. I'm watching the special effects. Oh, here's my boo.
But it's all right because Tim can get out his Disney book of fairy tales and he can sort of read himself to sleep.
I'll have to
Why
watch
do you
some
have to
comedy
come in
now
and make
before I
my
go
face
bed.
red,
Or even
mister?
better, Tim, you can read my fourth book, Job Done. That's quite a nice ghost story. So that's not one of these scary ones. It's quite a sweet, calming ghost story with a
I'll
nice
have a
ending.
think of that then. Anyway, do you reckon you have to go to work when we die? Are we got to go work again and do it all again when we're dead? Go to work as a ghost?
Can you imagine? Right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to make it fun, right, for everybody in the chat, right? If you came back as a ghost, right? What would you want your job to be?
You can picture it, can't you? You just go through the pearly gates, and then and as you go through, he goes, right, next stop, job centre.
yeah. For the rest of eternity. Oh my God! Can you imagine? That could be a horror film.
Could you imagine?
You go through the gates, and he says, right, you've got to go to the job centre. You know, oh, I think I'm in the wrong place. I'd rather go back.
Robert says surround sound. Good thing it's morning down here. Definitely, Robert. Rattling chains. I'll rattle your chains, Mr. Scott.
He said down here.
That's it. Chain manufacturer.
Well, I would love to be like the Queenie, scaring everybody and tripping them up and grabbing their legs and pushing them over. You know.
And there's people that do that in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Is it the
I want-
Texas Bushman? He does that in real life, doesn't he? He sits there dressed as a bush and scares people as they walk past.
or you've
It's
got the
funny.
fact or you've got the fact of Peter Griffin when death comes back. So I would love to be wearing.
Well, you know,
I
talking of
would love to be
clowns,
wearing the black cloak with the stick. And can you imagine going to somebody? You're next.
That's what I could do. I'll do the apprenticeship as a Grim Reaper.
Oh my god, that would
Well,
be
It's your
Lynn,
hilarious.
you're
turn.
still muted, Lynn. I don't know if you can unmute
Adrian
yourself.
says, "Oh, I'm sure you will grab people. You're first."
This lady is muted.
Lynn, you muted yourself. What are you doing?
Lynn, come on, after Lynn. Lynn,
She's like,
you're muted.
that's it.
There you
You
go.
want to hear me coughing, did you really?
No,
Nah,
didn't
we
hear a
don't.
word you
We're
said
not
either
worried
for a
about
little
it.
while. But you know,
Tim.
you brought up Vincent Price, and oddly enough, I now have a connection to Vincent Price, like not like 5 degrees, but no, a direct connection. In that last video that I made, the dining room set that I sat at, that table and those chairs were once in a green room in Hollywood. And Vincent Price was in that green room. So chances are he sat on one of those chairs. Could have been the chair I
Wow.
sat in.
Wow.
So I have now
Wow.
a connection to a legend.
Oh, very good. Very
Oh.
good. Very
That's
creepy Vincent Price, I found.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes.
My limit for a scary film is probably The Hound of the Baskerville.
Or the Fox and the
See-
Hound, one of the two.
I love the original Hound of the Baskerville. What a film! And that's quite scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tim, know what to do? Get a large pillow, right? And just put it up at the very scary bits. And just go la 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 la.
I go out investigating and see all kinds of stuff. I'm not bothered about that. It's when I'm sitting here looking at the films and you see a shadow in the corner and oh no.
And you're on your own and it's looking at you,
Yeah,
Tim,
yeah.
in the
And you got to
dark.
look
In
under
the
the bed
dark.
before you get in it and checking the wardrobe.
I can imagine Tim going like this, right under the bed, like.
I do that. I do. Somebody's under my bed's only that big.
Wow.
Oh my god.
You know what? There are so many comments
You
I
can
could make when a guy does this.
Yeah.
You,
Well, you could get Slender Man under there. So he could be under there.
In fact, talking about Slender Man, he is in the comments. Adrian 6'5". So here, you better watch. Robert says it's a master of death. He's out here about the reaping. Tom now contains the DNA of Vincent Price's butt.
hey, that's all right. I'm sure that's
We
worth a lot
wouldn't
more
get
than
out
I
of bed
am.
when we were little, Tim. We wouldn't get out of bed because
No.
there was always a crocodile underneath the bed. And
Yeah.
if you were out of bed, put your legs over it would have you. So you've got to stay in bed. See, that's how,
Yeah.
how we got
My
scared.
sister actually hid under my bed one time, and that particular day, my cousins were here and they brought their Ouija board. And it was my first interaction with a Ouija board, knowing what it was and everything. And my sister, she hid under my bed, and I'm just looking around my room, all creeped out. It's just coincidental. She reached out, grabbed the back of my foot. I don't think I touched a single stair all the way downstairs. It was just. I will never forgive her for that.
That always reminds me of that story about the father, and he hears his little girl screaming upstairs, and then he goes upstairs into his daughter's bedroom and can see the shape laying in the bed, and he's like, "You're all right, you're all right," and he sees something underneath the bed, and then when he goes underneath, it's his daughter. And he's going, "Well, if you're under here, who's that up there?" She's going, "Well, that's not me." And that was it. Pull him out, run.
Oh my God.
And that is probably one of the quickest short stories in existence for,
Wow.
like a ghost story, because he can see like the the outline of his daughter laying in the bed. Could see the top of her head laying on the pillow, and yet he sees something under the bed. So he looks underneath the bed and sees his daughter. And he's like, hang on a minute, if you're under here, who's that up there? She's like, that's not me. So he pulls her out from the bed and runs out of the house. You know, and it's those sort of ghost stories that I really, really like.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones that make you think more.
Yeah.
Best
One boy in bed with me once, way.
And I think you know, a lot of horror films nowadays rely on blood and guts. Like we said, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, Terrifier. They're selling their movie based on the fact that it's full of blood and guts.
Yeah.
And rather than going down the supernatural side of things and giving out a story worthy of being a ghost story, they just rely on demons and scientific experiments gone wrong and stuff like that. And the blood and guts to actually sell that movie more than the jump scare side of things.
Yeah.
I mean, Christ. I mean, Saving Private Ryan in the first 10 minutes of the film was enough to make a lot of people leave the cinema.
Oh, I broke down.
I know of 6 people that went to the premiere in when it was premiering in Colchester.
Sorry, folks.
They left the theatre after 10 minutes because they couldn't handle the beach landing scene right at the beginning of the film.
Very clever film, that.
Yeah.
Do you know what really got me when they were on that beach is when they jumped off and they went under the water because of the weight of the backpacks, and you could hear and see the bullets going past them.
Yeah.
And you can hear the way they made that, where you could actually hear and you could realize that's what it would have sounded like.
When they filmed that, Steven Spielberg had got his special effects people actually to test on ballistics dummies to see the damage that it actually would make on a real body, and things like firing bullets into the water, so that the cinematography side of things, it would be perfect. And my 2 cousins went to see it, and they walked out after 10 minutes, and I turned around and said, I'm sorry, but did you really think that watching a film like Saving Private Ryan, you would not get any blood and guts or anybody getting killed or anything like that? You didn't expect that? And they went, well, it's Tom Hanks. I said, so basically you stereotyped him as the little boy from Big.
Yeah.
Or Splash. And you've kept that vision of Tom Hanks right the way through. And then when he does a film like Saving Private Ryan, which right from the word go shows you it's a World War II film, you really think he's going to go there with a bunch of flowers in his hand and go, excuse me, Germans, I just need to find this guy and bring him home?
It was full on, wasn't it?
You know,
absolutely
it's going to happen, and it did upset people, and I can understand it would upset people. But why go to something knowing that that's what you're going to see?
Yeah.
And if they didn't want to see blood and guts, they could have saw the adult version, Saving Ryan's Privates. You know, starring Tom Yanks.
Tom Spanks. Tom Spanks.
I patiently
Saving Ryan's Private, starring Tom Spanks.
Yeah.
Why does that show end up coming cute and kinky?
Every show I go on.
How you doing, my love?
I don't know.
But, you know, you mentioned the term ghost story multiple times, and every time you do, my mind is going to that movie from 1981, Ghost Story, that had like Fred Astaire in it.
Robert's like Wilson.
Oh my God. Who else was in
Wilson.
it? Fred Astaire.
That's Castaway.
Fred Astaire and John.
No, I don't know that one.
I cried when Wilson went away. I was like, no.
Oh, Tim. Oh, Tim.
I mean,
places.
But the thing is from Saving Private Ryan, you then had Band of Brothers, Pacific, and Masters of the Air. 3 absolutely outstanding series off of the back of Saving Private Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't want to go off of the back from Saving Ryan's Private, so you want the front. You want the front, not the back.
I'm saying nothing.
But yeah,
I've been an angel.
yeah, right.
Well, you know, speaking
Excuse
of
me, cheeky devils.
That's
Tom,
because
speaking of things like that,
that's because when anything like this comes along, your computer mysteriously glitches.
Tom,
That
I
on
can't
the
help-
that's
way,
listen.
on the
After a lot of f bombs last night, it's trying to save me from saying any more f bombs.
Yeah,
Well,
that's it.
I
Blame the
can't help
system.
but think what you call this,
There's my pal.
what you call this, and this is on my camera, and then what's behind you on your camera. I mean, I
Yeah.
know it's a cat, but it has another name.
Yeah,
it's a little pussy.
Feline.
patch.
I know where you're going with this, mister. This is because I refer to you. I knew you're referring to my. Yes. Guys, on Sunday, I will be covering Ted Bundy. And
Is
Dark
he gonna like that,
Archives
or
with Willow.
I mean, he might.
I'm coming to Philly to see you, Tom. On now, Tom makes me lose my track. On
I don't do that. I don't know what you're talking about.
you're terrible, shocking. On Thursday, it's the best day of the year. It's Halloween.
Yay!
So we will have the Shane and Mary from the Netherlands coming in to join us. On the Friday, folks, we have Shane and Mary coming back on. Don't ask how I managed to get them 2 days in a row. It was just potluck. So it's Halloween. We've got Halloween this year for our shows. Woo, woo, woo.
And unfortunately, I will not be about on Thursday next week.
Oh, you suck.
Well, I will.
Well, I don't suck actually, because Halloween is my Christmas day. And
Well, you got a
therefore,
fun
I
day.
entertain the children of the town I live in.
I
And
do.
as you would have seen from previous years' photos, the front of my house turns into Halloween Central.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this
Well,
year
I
I've gone
was
bigger and
hoping-
better. I've got an alien spaceship landing in my garage.
Fantastic.
So I've got all sorts of things going on this year, and there is no way I will be finished in time to be on the live show.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm
Guys,
at the park
well,
on Thursday from 4 o'clock, and I'll be leaving about 8 o'clock. I am Wanda the Witch, and we've got a Halloween all through the woods and through the visitor centre for all the local children. But I'll be coming here dressed as the witch.
So Tim will be saying, "There's that sexy bitch."
Tom's just got back from Salem.
Wayne, I was hoping, actually, I'm a wee bit late in asking you, but I was hoping that you would bring my friend this year.
I'm not too sure, because I will have to check with Violet LeBonc, because I'm sure she's in Thailand at the moment.
I won't say it because it's not very PC and I'll end up getting us all banned. So
She's at the Ladyboys Club in Phuket.
Why did you have to go and say what I'm thinking?
No, it has been mentioned a number of times whether I can get in contact with Violet LeBonc for her to come back onto a podcast again this year at some point.
Please
if
make
she
sure
does,
it's mine.
if she
because
does, she
that's
favours
clever.
Christmas time.
Chris says, remember the movie A Matter of Life and Death, aka Stairway to Heaven, 1946? It's old but gold.
Oh yeah, I remember 1946 like it was yesterday.
I've seen before
because
my
that was-
time, that is.
That was 2 years before my dad was born, but I was here. Yeah.
Oh, just saying that though, I watched a film yesterday, or started watching a film yesterday, and I had to stop before I got quarter of the way through it. And I sort of came to the conclusion, why was it that horror films in the 70s were all about models wearing bikinis?
Yeah, it's true. Look at the
To
top of the
show
box.
boobs.
And I'm just like, seriously?
Records, right?
Yeah.
The covers for them, they were all in these
Yeah,
bikinis, weren't
yeah.
they?
And it was this film about these models ended up going out on a boat, and they ended up coming in contact with this old galleon that had Knights Templar in it.
Oh.
And these Knights Templar were in coffins in the hold.
That was
And
the
they
beginning
ended
of
up
the
going on
precedent.
the boat, and the Knights Templars came out of the coffins and started killing them all. And I'm just like, you've got all these models in bikinis running around this old ghost ship. And I'm just like, yeah, this is boring. So I turned it off.
That was the beginning of the precedent of like the 80s horror movies, where, of course, at some point you were going to see some girls' boobs.
Yeah.
You know, and there was going to be kids having sex that the maniac came and killed them, like Jason or something like
Yeah.
that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We had to have that. They
You do,
even
but I
poked
think
fun
it
at that.
ruins the storyline, I think.
They even poked fun at that in Freddy versus Jason.
Do you know? I
Yeah.
think that was just a comedy. That was just an
Freddy
utter
versus Jason. I
comedy.
loved it. You know what it was supposed to be? It was supposed to be Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, like the dude from Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Now that
That's
would have been
crazy.
funny as hell.
Yeah.
And they still need to make that. They
You
still
could
need
even
to
mix
make
genres, and you could have Freddy versus Jason versus Ash versus Alien and Predator.
it. Versus
I
Michael
think
Myers.
the background music on Freddy and Jason.
Versus Frankenfurter.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That's
Just
all I can do. It
imagine.
makes me laugh every time I think.
We've started watching myself and Eleanor. We've been watching the newer Halloween films, and I
Oh,
said
do you
to,
know I'm actually subscribed to Netflix again, and I've started to watch Halloween Kills.
we started
Yeah.
watching them, and then we were like, hang on a minute, we've missed one. We started watching Halloween Kills, and we're like, hang on a minute, we've missed one here. And then when we looked, it was on Amazon Prime, but you had to pay for it. And we're like, well, we can't watch Halloween Kills until we've seen this other one on Prime first, because obviously the stories continue. And then I turned around to Ellen and I said, there's one Halloween film you don't watch, and that's Season of the Witch, because it's got nothing to do with Mike Myers.
I hate that movie.
I
don't hate the movie. I hate the fact that
it's
it's called Halloween.
Yeah.
I watched the Evil Dead 2 last night, and it was the biggest pile of rubbish I've ever watched in my entire
Oh
life.
no!
And Robert says versus Terminator.
That's right. That's right. Come on, put me in the movie. Come on.
By the way, thanks
Listen.
to you, Mr. Tom, I can't watch Rick and Morty without hearing you and Nick in my head.
But I mean, we can't help it. I mean, it's just that's just the way things go. I get inside of people's heads and I live in there, and I never leave.
To be honest, you saying that though, I've been getting staff in the local supermarkets in hysterics, and I embarrassed Ellen the other day because we were walking down the aisle where they have all the milk and the cream and everything else, and I just turned around at my kids and I went, "Do you know what? I think we need some Cool Whip," and that was it. They were in hysterics, and even a member of staff that was stacking the shelves with reduced goods, you could see him smiling and wanting to laugh his head off. And I just turned around to the kids and went, "Well, that's it. If we can't find no Cool Whip here, we'll have to go elsewhere to find Cool Whip." And then I went,
"Wait, why are you putting so much emphasis on the H?
Mummy. And Ellen was going, "Stop it. You're not Stewie Griffin. Stop it."
Crispin, yes. Robert says Tom lives there rent. Honestly, Robert, you've no idea. I watch Rick and Morty and I try and switch off, but all I hear is Nick in one ear, Tom in the other, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, I'm not even watching the program because all I can hear in my head is they tugging on my ears, and then I'm expecting Birdie out of nowhere,
Birdie!
And it's just like, oh my god!
See, Nick kind of
I've
took
never
over
watched
Morty.
a single episode of Rick and Morty.
The first couple seasons are
I do
awesome. After
love
that, they go down. It's like
I might have to look at some Rick and Morty after I've watched 25 years of Grand Designs.
Nick
No.
kind of took over the whole Morty voice because it would happen that I'd try to do it, and if I had too many cigarettes that day, or if I was had too much beer, my voice would start to crack, and I couldn't. Even though Morty's voice does crack, I couldn't quite get it, so he just kind of took over because I could always do Rick. I mean, he's not hard to do. I mean, all you really got to do is put a little stress on your voice and talk like an asshole, and you can sound like Rick too.
It's a bit like Beavis and Butthead.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, because their voices were quite easy to do. They never really changed, did they?
No, Beavis and Butthead.
I don't know.
So you go, oh, shut up, Beavis.
Damn it, Beavis. No, you're always saying damn it. See, I can't do Beavis anymore. It turns into Rick.
Julio.
Every time I do Beavis, it turns into Rick. But Morty used to be easier.
See,
for me
when
to
I
do.
worry about the sheep sounds, I'm thinking, what the hell am I coming back to?
Oh my God, Rick!
Beavis and Butthead laughing.
Chris says, I'm more of a future. Oh, I love Futurama too. I wish they would
Futurama's
bring it
alright.
back. See, if you go on to Disney, Chris, you will find Futurama there. You'll find every episode because I used to love Futurama. I jumped between The Simpsons, Futurama, Family Guy, American Dad.
Bob's
Home
Burgers isn't
Improvement.
bad, but it gets old.
Yeah.
Like Bob's Burgers, like you watch like 10 episodes and you're like, I'm over it. But it's
I
funny.
only ever
before
watched
then.
American Dad and Family Guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they're the only ones I ever watched. I never really liked The Simpsons. Futurama was okay, but
Wednesday didn't mean you got to fall out.
The Simpsons and Family Guy did do a crossover episode, and it was actually pretty funny.
But guys, think about it this way, and I've spoke to him, spoke about this before. Sorry, when we've talked about predictions. Look at how much The Simpsons has predicted without even knowing.
Oh, yeah.
have they predicted without even knowing, or have they scripted? Because when we look at things like a certain person that is currently sort of president, not president sort of type person, we know
I don't know who he's talking about. I have no idea. I wasn't there.
Sleepy Joe Biden is sort of being manipulated into doing what he's doing, right? So could the Simpsons be doing the same thing? Could they be writing the script for what's to come? Are they forcing it that way? Is that the agenda that supposedly the New World Order is trying to feed into?
Yeah, well, they only have to watch that instead of going to meetings, don't they?
Yes.
An episode of The Simpsons, and they know what they're going to be doing for work next week.
I mean, if you were to turn around, like, I don't know, say I became Prime Minister of England and the Simpsons said, oh, I go and visit the King and I show me bum to the crowd outside Buckingham Palace. If I was that way inclined, I could very easily just say, I sod this, right, okay, work my way through as an MP, get into Parliament, be Prime Minister, go to get brought in as Prime Minister and get to Buckingham Palace and pull my pants down in front of everybody. Then Simpsons have predicted the future.
Immediately handed a business card from a proctologist. Here, give me a call.
So,
I'm sure that would be called. I'm sure that would be called the full moon.
Yeah, well, be totally.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Is it really full if it's got a crack in it, though?
Where the light beams out of.
Some big craters.
And I've never seen a moon with hemorrhoids before. It's really weird.
The thing is, are Simpsons predicting the future, or are they scripting the future?
Or are they willing it into existence? Isn't that the same thing, really, I guess?
Because you could say that about a lot of science fiction programs. Star Trek, Star Wars, you look at lightsabers. Yeah. Lightsabers are now a thing of the past because they developed lightsabers. The new types of engines that are being developed are all based on theories from Star Trek.
Yeah.
You know, so could the Simpsons just be doing a modern version of that? They're looking at what could and will happen in certain circumstances, and they're just putting it in cartoon format.
Wait a minute. I need to get my lightsaber. 2 seconds. It's like...
Bloody hell.
I can't get mine or we get banned.
Wow, do you have the magnification lens on there, or?
I do have a microscope here, yeah.
Oh, okay, there you go. That'll work. I wasn't going that far with microscope, but, I mean, hey,
It's like,
you know better than I do.
it's like holy shit. Sometimes they put things plain sight. They like to do these things, go down the rabbit hole into secret society. Chris says, Robert says, Tom has himself a cocksaber.
Made my nose run. I laughed so hard.
And Chris says, I want the replica. I hope not of the cocksaber.
No, the replicator is from Star Trek. That was all providing all the meals and things.
Yeah.
But you just pressed the button and asked for whatever, and it just materialized it.
But it was synthetic.
Turned up, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, guys!
Like
you
it couldn't do
kill me in a
alcohol.
show every Friday
But when you look at things like a replicator, it's not going to be that far off before we do stuff like that. Simply because you look at the way ready meals are. They just plop all these vitamins and minerals, sugars and salts and everything else in these ready meals. We buy them for stupid prices, stick them in the microwave and stuff them in our faces. They're meals that are ready in 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, they do freeze-dried meals, and that's what they use up in space, isn't it? And that's what people are doing now. They're making meals, they're dry freezing them, and they're storing them for 20 years, just in case they've got no food left.
That's one of the latest crazes on TikTok is freeze-dried sweets.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've been seeing that.
I brought a box of them, and they are amazing.
Are they?
They are amazing. The Skittles and the Milky Ways are amazing.
I must admit, I've not even tried them.
I mean, obviously,
don't try
with
the
a
milky
Skittle,
Skittles, though.
with a Skittle,
I love the Skittles.
you have to chew a Skittle, but with a freeze-dried one, you can't chew it.
Right.
You either have to suck it till it disintegrates in your mouth, or you just crunch it. Yeah, Tom's mind has just gone into overtime there.
I didn't say a word. I didn't.
But I mean, it's like freeze-dried food. I mean, I used to work for a company that used to do freeze-dried food. They called it cook chill, and they used to freeze it with nitrogen.
Lovely. Sounds very appetizing.
Nasty stuff. But the problem is when you do that, it does take some of the flavour away from the natural taste of the food.
Yeah.
I've heard fruit's very nice.
I need a glass of wine.
I'm going back to me coffee.
I'm sitting here surrounded by no wine tonight.
I prefer to be surrounded by beers.
No wine. Just wine yourself.
Such as Skittles taste a cold rainbow.
Well, with the freeze dried one, you have to change it instead of taste the rainbow. It sucked the rainbow, I guess.
Yeah, I think the LGBTQ plus community would have something to say about that.
You're not helping the situation. Suck a Skittle test.
I didn't even see that when I made
Robert,
that
you're not helping here. Replicas were also the bad guys in Stargate. I can remember that. The replicas in Stargate, the wee fuckers that I would have loved to shoot myself. But guys, I am going to stop it here, but we have had a good night. I want to thank everybody who is tuned in, guys. Your support's appreciated every week.
I got a haircut.
We do appreciate it. I want to say a quick happy 15th birthday to Things Network. I'm a wee bit late. I would have said it last night had things went my way. I can only apologise again to everyone on call.
It's not your fault. It was technology. It's not.
Yes, I know. It's a pain in the ass.
Well, it's that other service sucks.
Yeah, well, don't even get me started. But aye, guys, we will be back. Well, I'll be back on Sunday morning, 6
I'll be
a.m.
back.
UK time. Just you be quiet, you. 6
That's right. I'll be back.
I'm coming in to annoy you in Tom's world. 6 a.m. UK time, guys.
With her new
where I
show,
will be-
Willow's Pillow.
It could have been Willow's Pillows.
6 o'clock in the morning, I'll still be asleep.
These guys suck
Yeah.
ass.
Hey, and we
Um,
put the
so-
clock. We put the clocks back Saturday, didn't we?
Yeah,
Is it Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday night.
Sunday
Sunday night,
morning.
yeah.
No, not Sunday. You don't put them back Sunday night. You put them back
Ah, you
Saturday.
put them back,
But
whenever you like.
mine automatically does it, so I've got nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Are
guys,
you going out
please-
weekend, Tim?
Pardon?
Are you going ghost hunting weekend?
No,
Robert,
not this weekend.
Robert White. Let me Robert in bed with.
What
Robert
about
says
you,
in
Wayne?
bed
Are you
with Lo.
busy?
Willow's Pillows in bed
I'm not
with
this
Lo.
weekend because I've been flat. I was flat out last week. I did an investigation near Chelmsford on
Was
the
it
Thursday
good?
night.
Tom,
It was very good actually. It's apparently it's
want
one of Britain's oldest licensed pubs, where a witch or a woman in 1621 was persecuted for being a witch.
Right.
She also killed her husband, so she was burnt at the stake as punishment. They buried her body on the crossroads because it was believed in them days that being buried on a crossroads, the spirit would get lost and wouldn't know which way to go.
Yeah.
And they put a
She'd
stone
live to tell
over the
about
body. And then during World War II, when the Americans came to that area, they needed to get the vehicles through, so they wanted to widen the roads. And when they widened the roads, they moved to stone.
Oh no.
And crops started failing. Animals were found dead in the fields and in the streets. They'd been found wandering the streets, but there was no ways of knowing whether they were escaped or people had let them out. So the locals said, put the stone back. And when they went to go and get the stone, they found it had broken in two. So they took the biggest one of the two and put it back. But obviously, with progress, the road was widened anyway, and the stone ended up in the entrance to this pub car park. And it's still there to this day.
Wow.
But now the pub has got manifestations and strange stuff going on in. So I was asked to go down last Thursday night to investigate there. And then on the Saturday, I was filming out in Cambridgeshire at an old water pumping station. And that was quite interesting. Quite an interesting night. But so luckily I've got this weekend off, which is good because I've got a lot of prep to do for Halloween.
Yeah.
Bits and bobs to get done.
I'm in Mill Street tomorrow night. Mill Street Barracks.
This is Halloween.
I'm running a team there with them.
So yeah, so I've got to get prepared for that. And then obviously Halloween on Thursday, and then I've got a live show, live reading on Friday, 10:30 on Wayne Seaton Presents Ori.
He's reading Green Eggs and Ham.
Where I'll be reading reading ghost stories live.
Do you know what? This is a really busy week, isn't it? And I'm just so excited about this. It's dead good. I love Halloween.
It definitely is, guys. It definitely is. So we will catch you up. Everybody have a safe weekend and behave. Well, behave as much as you can. But everyone, thank you very much. Thank you very much to the team, everyone, and everybody have a good weekend. See you later, guys. Bye everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Microwave.